Hi, everyone. It is me, Sailor Venus, Sailor V, Sailor Hellish World Mina here. And today I'm going to talk about what is the downside of, of being an Irwin toy or a Bandai doll. Well, the legs could break off. Believe it or not, most dolls, you have to worry about their heads coming off. But for some dolls, that's never ever seems to be true. At least for Irwin toy dolls or Bandai dolls that were made in between 95 YL to 2001 YL, that's what seems to happen. So one day, way back, maybe last month, maybe a month before, I'm making a film, and I maybe forget what the film was on. But all I know is that I made a film. And all I know is that I was in that doll stand, the one that you see a lot of my friends be in. And after I was done, I got stuck. My hair got caught. And when I truly got out of it, my legs seemed to be wobbly at first. But I didn't think anything of it. I thought, well, if it came out, I can just put it back in, Well, when I got to the bookshelf, the book stand over there, that's when I knew that something had broke. And then I had to go and get some kind of, I guess you call it healing film. I don't know, some kind of film that you can stretch, around around the leg. But it has to be stretched around the broken leg and the leg it's not broken, so one thing can hold the other thing together. Now, a lot of folks out there might say, oh, well, you could always you could always hire a doll healing house. First off, you got to look up the business. Then you got to get a hold of whoever does the business. And then you got to do a fee because it's a business. They're not going to do it for free. And then you have to ship out the doll to wherever the man or woman who handles the doll healing business is at. And then you got to yield for them to work on the doll. And then you got to yield for them to send the doll back in the wire after they were done healing with it. So, yeah, it's not cheap at all. So, yeah, a doll healing house or whatever folks call it was never going to be in the asking. And I know some folks out there need to say, oh, you can always buy another one. Yeah, on eBay or Etsy or Overstock or Deal Dash, where the sale fees or the dwarfs could be high, under the grounds that Irwin Toy no longer around anymore, and they no longer make my dolls anymore. And yes, Bandai's still around, but they no longer make these kind of dolls anymore. So yeah, that wouldn't work. So, yeah, that's what happens when you are an Irwin toy, or at least if you're a Sailor Moon Irwin toy. Hell, it could happen to you if you're a Sailor Moon Bandai doll as well. So, keep in mind. And I'm not the only one that had this happen. Many, many years ago, Tuxedo Max had it happen to him. But the first two times that happened, you could just put the leg back in, no bind. Then about the 8th month of 27 between YL, it broke and had to be binded up. And it kept being binded up until like sometime last year, where it broke again. And they got binded up again, and this time it most likely will never break because whatever we were doing will not do again. So he's the only other one out there to have it happen. And that's the only way that I know of you can heal them. And that's how I broke my leg. Or whatever you want to call it, your hip, whatever, your leg, your hip, whatever you want to call it. And that's the downside of being an Irwin toy doll or a Bandai doll, at least these kind. And I know folks these days are more into buying the squeeze dolls that the Great Eastern Glee business makes or other businesses make, or some are into the Sailor Moon Eternal or Forever dolls, which are mostly made the same way that the old Bandai Irwin dolls were made. So sooner or later, those legs might go. And when they do, you'll know what to do. So that's that film about the downside of being an Irwin toy doll or being a Bandai doll too. At least any one that was made between the years of between 95 YL to 2001 YL. That's the downside. Legs break off. You got to bind it up with some kind of tape. But strong tape you can wrap around, And that's mostly it. So that's it. Hopefully you like this film. And if you want to see the film that Sailor Jupiter, Sailor King Rodlita made yesterday, about why we made a Sailor Moon Fairway, you can watch that film. And I'll see you later. Yeah, I was going to hit this off.